So, Coach, okay, let's go back. I want to go back to your days with the Steelers. Tell me, were you a receivers coach with Coach Cowher? Is that what you were doing in Pittsburgh?
Yes, for 3 years.
For 3 years there. Tell me what that was like coaching with Coach Cowher. He's one of my favorites.
Well, I tell you what, there's a thing about when you work for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Bill had been working there now, I guess, for about maybe 4 or 5 years, been the head coach when I came in. And there's some franchises in the NFL that the league office looks at and they say, these are models of what the league office would like every NFL franchise to be like. Okay. And the Pittsburgh Steelers is one of those. All right. And I was very fortunate to be there. And one of the reasons it's that way is that franchise goes all the way back with the Rooney family, which always owned it, that will always own it. It's not just their business, it's their life.
Right.
And when I went there, the one thing that struck me most of all, right before I started working with Bill, was that every time you walked into Three Rivers Stadium, the first thing you saw when you walked in and the last thing you saw when you walked out was 4 Super Bowl trophies. Right. So there was an expectation and there was a culture. And they like to say there's the Steeler way of doing things. Right. And Bill, being from that area, I think Bill was from Crafton, PA, somewhere up in that area there, played at North Carolina State, played in the league a little bit with his mentor, Marty Schottenheimer, who was obviously with Kansas City, yes, sir, which is where Bill got his start in the NFL as a special teams coach with Marty in Kansas City. Correct. And I can tell you this, he loved Kansas City. Oh, I mean, flat out loved Kansas City.
Kansas City loved Coach Cowher.
That's exactly right. And you know what? The thing about him, you always saw him, when you see him on TV, you saw that old gruff, that look he had. Yeah. Let me tell you something. It wasn't a front, but I tell you what, he was really so into the football and so into doing things the Steeler way, right, and so involved with what happened with that franchise and what was expected of that franchise, is that he had tunnel vision about what we were all about. Right. And I always respected that about him. And, he was a Pittsburgh Steeler, although he never played for him. Of course. He was a Pittsburgh Steeler guy. Right. It's always fun to watch him, even when he's on the set and he's talking right now about the Chiefs' success, and he talks about Arrowhead. There's a little sparkle in his eye that I think he's still got some of that love for Kansas City and where he started there with Marty, because I think he enjoys watching what these guys are doing there now and some of these championships they're putting together. Well, I can tell you why he enjoys doing it is he has a lot of respect for Andy. He knows Andy does it the right way. And I can tell you there was a common thing that I saw. I was only with Bill for 3 years, but with Andy for 18. The common thread between the two that I saw was they're different. But the one thing that they were consistent. Right. Is every day you came to work, you knew what to expect and you knew what you was going to get. And I think that's one of the many reasons that they both, obviously Bill's already a Hall of Fame coach, Super Bowl winner. And, Andy's obviously been 3 times as a head coach, working on something that no one's ever done in the history yet. Right. And that's win 3. Right. And all I can say is this, if there's anybody more deserving of winning 3 as a head coach, it would be Andy Reid.